Hello, I'm Mark.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Tesla CyberTruck and sales in the 1 year period and what can happen. With that, roll the title. Welcome everyone to the show. And tonight we're going to talk about an issue that has been facing some Cybertruck owners for the last little while. We know that Tesla had changed their purchase agreement quite some time ago, just before the release of the Cybertruck, that you were unable to sell a Cybertruck within under a year of your purchase date. And if you were to do so, Tesla could have the ability to sue you for $50,000 or the profits that you made from that truck, and of course legal fees if they're going to sue you. So that was what was sprung on early Tesla Cybertruck reservation holders. And of course we know that a lot of these people that put in orders were hoping that the truck would be in low demand, or I'm sorry, not low demand, low production, so they could fulfill high demand by selling the truck for double or even triple the amount that the truck goes for. And of course, we've seen some of this in the news media where some people have been doing lease schemes where they're saying, you know what, you can buy a lease for this truck where you spend, $250,000 on a lease for a year, and then at the end of the lease, we sell the truck to you for $1. So there's been ways people have been thinking of trying to skirt this sell the truck, but there's also been blatant sales. We've seen a Porsche dealership receive a Cybertruck, reportedly pay $244,000 for it, and then relist it on their Porsche website for close to $300,000.
Wow.
We've seen others that have got ads in Kijiji. I have Kijiji here in Canada. What's it called in the US?
Auto Trader? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Auto Trader, or that other general one that you sell everything on.
eBay?
eBay.
Or, yeah.
So
some classifieds, maybe?
Yep, it's classified type online services where they're posting these trucks for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And with the language that Tesla made everyone sign when they bought the truck, a lot of people have been asking, hey, how come Tesla isn't going after really anybody? We're not hearing it. Well, the news has started. So there is a person that put an order in for a few Cybertrucks, not just one, a number of them. And he was advertising that he was selling these trucks for a profit. And Tesla caught on to who it was, what account he was under, and they sent him basically a cease and desist letter letting him know that his future orders have been canceled. His $100 deposit are being sent to him back. And the language indicated that if he was to order any more trucks or cars in the future from Tesla, that he would not receive them. And on top of it, the deposits that he placed would be kept. Yeah. So they're letting him know ahead of time in this letter that, guess what? If you order any Tesla products going forward, not only will you not receive them, but you're not going to get your deposit back either, or your order amount, or whatever they're calling it. Those amounts would be taken from you, and you would leave with nothing.
Donation to the cause.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of interesting that maybe this is Tesla starting its legal work towards curtailing some of this. But it is interesting that we haven't heard anything about someone receiving the Cybertruck and then getting a summons for a court because they have violated the agreement that they did sign at the beginning. Yeah. So not sure. There's speculation out there that, of course, that Tesla can't do this, that this is something that will not hold up in court because a person's rights of buying something outright will supersede the company saying you got to hold on to it for a year, no matter what, before you can sell it.
There might even be precedent for this though, because Ford and Chevrolet and Ferrari have been doing this for years. So if any of them have been taken to court, then I'm pretty sure that Tesla will use them as precedent, depending on what the outcome was. They did mention the blacklisting in part of the agreement, as well as saying that they go after your profits. We did see one, maybe two individuals, excuse me, say that they did the process correctly. They took it to Tesla for the first right to refusal or the take back, and Tesla said, "We don't want that thing." And then they said, "Here's how much we'd give you for it." And the person's like, "I paid $100,000 for this. I'm not going to take that money." And so then Tesla said, "All right, you're authorized to sell it on the private market." And one of those was one of those $300,000 cars, but not all of them, and not this guy with the multiple Cybertrucks. So this was kind of fun to watch him just flail in the wind, like, "Oh, what was me?" Like, no, you knew this. You were testing them basically, and the way they caught him easily was on one of the listings. He had the VIN number, and so it was very easy to track down who it was. He did that to say that proof that it was ready, and they did that to say, we know who you are. Not even have to look for you, and it's a mess, and we'll see how it goes down. But like, he was warned, and they did the right thing. They gave him his money back. They didn't have to, and then they warned him, "Hey, if you give us more money, we'll appreciate it."
Yeah,
it's one I saw. The guy who loaned Marquez Brownlee the Fisker Ocean that he called the worst car he'd ever driven, and then later in another video, the Fisker guy called him MK Happy Birthday, MK HBD, and they I don't know what they were really trying to do there, but eventually they said, "Oh, well, you're the owner, so he doesn't matter." And that same dealer was trying to get this football player from the 49ers. Sorry, I don't know the names because I'm not into sports, but tried to get him to buy the Cybertruck that they had purchased. I'm assuming this was one of the ones that was approved. He had the Cybertruck that he got for high money, and he was trying to sell it for
astronomical money.
Yeah, something like $290. It wasn't quite $290. I don't know for sure. But then in the video, he got the football player, talked to him. Oh, sorry, no, it was $3 and change. Talked him down a little bit from $330 to $310 if he pay cash right there on the spot. And so then the football player calls his financial advisor, and the financial advisor's like, "No, we ain't got that." Can you imagine? You're there. You get suckered into buying this thing for $310, and then a year and a half, 2 years later, you see the used ones go for like $40.
It's a battle to be first, right? Like, that's what it is. It's people have to be first. They want the new bling to show as they drive around. It's kind of ridiculous, but there's a frenzy about this vehicle. It is one of the most polarizing vehicles on the road, and to have it is to be noticed. There is no doubt about it. I've seen many videos. A good friend of the channel, Tesla Tino, just got his Cybertruck. And he and his wife Nancy are out on a trip now in Utah, and he said he has never seen the amount of looks that he gets in this truck driving anywhere, whether it's in a city, a town, on the highway. He said it's actually a little bit scary because people swarm him in cars trying to get videos and pictures of the Cybertruck in action. And he's going, it's a little bit unsafe. It's, he says, I don't want to make unnecessarily lane changes because there are people in my blind spot all the time. Yeah. So this is
probably more than the folks saw with the Roadster and the early Model S's, because those cars could blend in, and this doesn't do that.
It does not.
Yeah, point of correction, I was off by $100,000. It was $230 and $210.
Okay. Yeah. So you're telling me that I shouldn't take my Tesla shares and use that to prove that I can get a Cybertruck early and then flip it, right?
Should not.
There goes that plan.
Not without asking Tesla first. But at this point, they might call people's bluff and actually buy it back and refuse the resale.
But strange thing, Casey, when you're saying that some of them are actually reaching out to Tesla and saying, "I want to sell the truck," and Tesla says, "Well, we'll give you 75," and you go, "No, I want 150." Like like how do they get away? Like how do you get away with that? Like because
I don't know how that part works, because the way
Yeah.
I read the agreement was that the 75 is what you had to take it or leave it or hold
Right.
on to it for a year.
right.
But they can.
But it did
at any
specify that
time-
if Tesla doesn't want it, they
Right.
could still authorize you to do it. And I guess maybe the person asked nicely, and they said, okay, we will allow you to go elsewhere, since we know that we
Right,
want
and
to buy it,
they
and somebody will
probably
pay for it.
check the account to make sure you don't have 5 of them on order or something, and that
Yeah.
this isn't the third time you tried it or something. You're obviously not a flipper. I have absolutely no respect for someone who's just doing this to try to make money. Whether it's Tickle Me
That's
Elmo or
scalper rates,
Zuzu
especially.
Pets or whatever. I mean, there are people who have bots to buy these things when they become available, and then sell them on eBay for a profit, and all that does is just make it more expensive for everybody else, and it's just greed, and it's ugly. So and I have no sympathy for this person if they had a bunch of them and they were just trying to use their place in line to slow down other people from getting their vehicles so they can make some money. It's ridiculous.
It's
Especially when they
scalping,
didn't
isn't
follow
it?
any
It's
rules.
like
Yeah,
ticket
scalping.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that has been more prevalent on this vehicle in Tesla's lineup than any other vehicle to this point.
Mhm.
And of course, I remember the Model 3 launch, how it was slow at the beginning, and that they were having difficulties in trying to finish spring structures so they could get extra lines up and running and get those cars to customers. And there was some scalping of the Model 3 out there that was happening, but this is a different level because I believe there's even less of the Cybertrucks being released. And it just seems that that there's more appetite for it. And of course, the truck's already expensive in the first place. Like we're talking minimum $100,000 US for one of these vehicles for anybody to buy. That's a different playground than the Model 3 was. So maybe that's why some people are willing to spend double that price or 2.5 times that price. But it's something that we haven't seen before, and it's interesting to watch from the sidelines. Like certainly, as mentioned, I think I'd wait the extra year or a year and a half to not spend $250,000 on a vehicle that, as Casey has mentioned, is going to be worth $40,000 in a couple of years. It's something that you're going to regret. I guess it has to be a real interesting use case in order for you to get satisfaction out of spending that type of money on a vehicle for that short period of time.
If I wait a year, Mark, everybody's not going to be looking at me when I go to get a latte, and I'm not going to end up all over the grams. And
So that use still works. Because I was gonna say it's not about being first on YouTube, because that's ship a sale. But being on the
exactly.
ground, having the crowds.
Yeah. But Patrick, if you really want attention, you can wear a clown suit everywhere you go, and you can get attention there too.
Are you saying that the Cybertruck is the equivalent of a clown car, Mark?
Yeah. So I want to apologize to you guys. This is partly because of people like me, and then also because of the scalpers. I ended up, while waiting on my Model 3 because it took so long, ended up buying a Model S. And if you were a Tesla owner, that accelerated your place in line. I couldn't do 2 Teslas at once, so I sold my Model 3 upon arrival. Not scalper rates, but I did make a little bit of money for my.
Oh my gosh, Casey, you are part of the problem. Oh
No,
my gosh.
no, it's like we're talking like it was de minimis, but but that's shortly after mine came in, and then all the scalpers realized what was going on. Tesla's like, yeah, you can't transfer your reservations anymore. And then as this went on, they went ahead and said, yeah. They didn't do it right away from Model 3, but you could see it coming in with the plaids and such, where they said, no selling the cars after a year. And then that was...
Because literally they were selling a place in line at that point,
Yeah.
right? If you could just transfer ownership electronically to somebody else before it was even bought. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so they put that in place, and they've stuck to it.
Well, I think we will wrap this issue up. Thanks everyone for being with us. Please press that like button, press that subscribe button, help out a small channel like ours. We would really appreciate it. And connect with us next time. Ring that bell, and you will see next time that we get together to discuss what's happening in the Tesla life. Fireworks! Good night, everyone.
See you later.
Bye, everybody.